Greetings and salutations. This is the lovely and awesome Emperor after Vespasian and the most awesome trusty sidekick.
Hi. My ego is like high.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yours is very high, which is why you said that so firmly about your entrance.
Yeah, it's because I can't read. I just go down the comments and I assume they're all good. So the ones with 4-letter words in them, I don't know what they mean. So I get really big. Yeah, that's the one. I was more thinking idiot. Only 1, 2, 3. No, did that wrong. Anyway, my ego is huge, so I'll deal with it. We are going to be having a look at the American Civil War Perry Miniatures Artillery. It says in the box, the war 1861 to 1865. However, these particular guns are going to be used in a slightly different period. But don't worry about it, because we're going to be doing Civil War 2. We'll just pop the box open straight away to prevent anyone complaining. Now, on the back you have the usual, this is how to put it together if you're thick, on the back, which is
says you.
No, seriously, I mean, if you don't know how to put a cannon together, you shouldn't be gaming.
Quick then, looks like I'm retiring.
Okay, it's simple, he's got 2 wheels and a gun. What can go wrong? I've put some really complicated things together in my life, and these cannon are dead easy.
Such as?
How about a Tyranid Battle Titan? Right. Oh yeah, and a scale model of the Titanic. Right, so we have a base for the cannon.
No one's that size.
No, there are people that size, seriously. I'm one of them. Let's put this out. Right, these are all here. Now, these bases, I will actually probably not be sticking on eBay because I can actually find a use for these. But these are great if you're using these bases. We base on clear plastic bases, so they don't really come in handy at the moment. So yeah, that is just something to take into account for us. But for you basically get all the bases you need to base all your cannons and everything up. So that is really good. You don't have to cut your own bases or anything to base the figures.
Until they ask you to.
Yeah, unfortunately what we do, we base on clear plastic, so perspex bases. So when you click basing on perspex bases, like these guys on a perspex base, the base is see-through, so you can use it on any terrain. The downside is, as now figure companies are supplying these awesome bases, we look stupid. So there you go. Anyway, we have all of these different types of putting the gun together. This is actually useful because it shows you the different configurations you can have to the way your gun has been deployed. So you can have it loaded, not loaded, guy pointing it with a stick, and some guys doing something. I think he's going to the toilet against the wheel, and you've got him with the stick at the back. I don't know what that guy does actually. I've based thousands of those figures. And
I feel like clean the barrel, don't I?
No, he seems to be holding it and pointing over there.
Telling him what to do.
It would be cool if he had a barrel to put under his hand. That would look cool, because then it looked like he was relaxing. But no.
He's probably doing some sort of important job, but we just don't understand it.
Yeah, actually. That is the typical limber you get in the American Civil War. I've just had someone order a load of limbers off us in 6mm for American Civil War. So what we did was we ordered 2 sets of normal limbers to put together, because they never had the big Cassian. The American Civil War, they didn't have the really big Cassian with the triangle roof. They just had these, which you put your stuff inside them. So just a slight interesting point if you're used to knowing Napoleonics and your Cassians are really big. They didn't have the big Cassians. I would assume, I'm only assuming it's because the weather was better. I'm not sure. I know the reason we had the Cassian was because it rained all the time. So it was a way of keeping the powder and everything dry, so it had the roof on it. But that dates way back and it may have become traditional. America didn't have time to have tradition by this time, because it had only been around a very short time. Right. Okay, we have the limber there and the gun on that side. I hope you can see it alright. If I move those you might see it better. Or have we got some paper or something?
Oh. You came prepared.
I did not come prepared. I just thought of this out of the top of my thinky head, and it happened.
Your brain thinks.
Not very well, no.
No
So
troopers.
this.
My brain was sucked out by my book.
Yeah, you need to stop watching those films.
I watched it today.
Yeah, this is the limber. It's a pretty standard limber. Basically, it's what you put your gear in. These are the different types of cannon. The base is the same for all of them, but you get different guns. You've got the Parrot gun, which was normally a Union gun. The Confederates did capture them. You got the smoothbore Napoleon. They're pretty good. I think they were 12-pounders. So pretty decent gun. You got an 8-pounder and a 4-pounder. Are they both 8-pounders? And they're a brass gun and an iron gun. So that's what we have. So there's actually quite a few things you can do with these figures. The spare barrels are going to come in very handy for our Alamo project.
Yes.
So the spare cannon are going to be used for the Alamo. But that's all besides the point. So that's what you get in that. That's quite straightforward. In the box, you get 3 sets of these because you have 3 sets of guns. So that's them, and then you get the figures. Now the figures, you get 3 identical sprues as usual. On it you have a number of guys all doing different things, and you can get your guns to do anything. I remember when we first got American Civil War, back in the day, many, many years ago, and we got all of our figures from Dixon Miniatures, which was the only people doing the Civil War at that time that were half decent. I know Freecore and stuff were doing them as well, Firecore. But they did these guys in all sorts of different poses. So we used to get huge packs of these 28mm figures all doing different things, and then have all the guns set up in different arrangements and stuff. And you'd always have a couple of guys that didn't fit in. This way, you can actually make them to fit. Also, you can use them as Confederate or Union. So
that's nice, right?
Yeah, you can use the kepi in both, obviously, but you can use them as Confederate or Union anyway. So it's really up to you what you want, how you want to do your figures. Although, as I mentioned in our last video, although you can use the Confederates as Union, you probably just best game boxes of Union for them, because the Union tend to be better equipped and tended to be able to look after their stuff better. It's just a thing. The Confederates spent a lot more time on their feet moving, and their equipment would just wear out, and they didn't have the ability to replace it. So they used to capture Union stuff, so it's much easier using Union figures with Confederates than Confederates with Union. You follow me so far?
Yes.
Well, say you've got...
The words are just really big.
Yeah, say you're fighting a campaign at the end of the war, then you've got a lot more scruffy gear. So you're going to have a lot more mixed units, mixed colours and stuff. So it's up to you how you do it. You can do your armies all the Confederates in field grey or butternut, and all your Union in the correct colours. You could be doing early war where you've got the Confederates particularly well dressed, and the Union wearing some very odd, unusual outfits. You can use Napoleonic British for early Americans, for some early American stuff. Early North American stuff, federal stuff. There were a few odd Confederate units as well. There were some very strange Confederate units at the beginning. But that's all by the by. So that's really everything.
And also a small box.
Not really, considering what you get in it. You get 18 actual gunners, you get 3 limbers and 3 cannon. So that is actually, if you think how much that would cost if you bought it in lead, it would cost you an absolute fortune, and you wouldn't have the spare guns and stuff. What, you're looking at £4.50 for a cannon in lead? 130 to 150 in English money. I'm not sure what that is nowadays, but with everything going on. But that's what it costs now per figure. and instead you're spending, how much does a pair of miniatures box put us back? You can't remember. You run that side of the business. You're clever.
I kind of just whacked her across the head with a door.
Oh, you did. Sorry. I just remembered you got a concussion, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been hit by him. Sidekick hit me in the head.
Sorry, my beloved other half, who is actually the brains of the entire business, she got hit by a car door today, and has.
Okay. Let me just explain what happened.
You tried to kill her.
People
That's
don't.
what you did. Yeah. You threw a car door at her.
What happened was I was getting a little shopping out of the bag because lazy brother didn't want to help, even though I asked him.
He had socks off. He didn't want to walk out of the house.
And I was getting out of the car, and I valiantly face planted the gravel on the floor.
Yeah.
Mum was laughing at me, and then I shut the door. I swear I looked around, but because because you have black hair, you blended in the dark night.
Right.
That like moving. And then I shut the door and I heard a squeal. Didn't think much of it. And I got up and Mum's there going. That's how it ended.
Yeah, that was more of it, yeah.
How's your head now, anyway?
It hurts.
What are you walking around for?
Because I'm coming for something.
I wondered what you came in for. I forgot all about that. Sorry.
Because you wanted to ask your beloved.
I was just trying to work
question.
out cost effectiveness of buying figures in plastic as opposed to lead.
As he already knows, I'm a brain, so I don't need to ask him anything. I just need to come in occasionally and get the things I need for my brain to work.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't get that. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. I was nodding.
Yeah, just nod and
And
stare.
then shut the door.
Yeah, she'll go away
Yeah.
and leave us alone to do our toy thing. So these lovely toys. You said it. You don't get much in a box. You actually do get quite a lot for your money. So you're getting 3 guns. The options to make the guns into whatever you want, different types of caliber and stuff. I wouldn't give them Napoleons because... Sorry, I'd give them Napoleons or the lighter gun. For Confederates, generally, I would go brass because the brass guns were cheaper and mostly what the Confederates had. When they got hold of iron guns, it was usually the ones they had captured from the Union, generally. But the British did supply quite a lot of stuff. The British were secretly funding the Confederacy. In fact, do you know nearly all the naval regulars, regular rating, not officers, not actual guys who do stuff, but all the ratings were Royal Navy trained. So the Royal Navy was secretly funding the Confederacy. At the same time, they were saying, "Oh, we like the Federals." Our government was particularly underhanded because we quite liked cheap American cotton, you see, and the South controlled the cotton. Our mills would have run dry had it not been for the blockade runners getting cotton.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the British were actually funding the Confederacy. So that basically means that when the American Civil War ended, Britain was kind of America's biggest enemy, having just funded a war against it.
But we fund them as well, so it's alright.
Yeah, so, and well, the American Civil War did not end with massive amounts of reprisals and stuff. It pretty much, and it said, right, get war over, let's just calm down. And a few officers went to prison for treason.
Election over, now let's calm down.
No, actually now the election's over, so now the communists are all setting fire to things in the street and burning American flags.
The first thing to do is destroy Trump's tower.
Well,
I don't know how a mob can destroy Trump's tower, but...
Well, they can have a go. If they do burn Trump's tower down, then he just claims an insurance. So he gets even more money and gets to build a shiny new tower.
You already have enough.
They're just stupid. These people are just idiots. I mean, they're led by Lady Gaga. I mean, come on. It's just...
And Miley.
Oh, God, she couldn't organise a thing in a brewery.
I don't know if she tried it.
Well, these are the calibers. These are the caliber of human beings who are leading the rebels. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, he's president, so he has the world's biggest power.
Yes,
so
he now has an army.
you can't really do anything. Sorry.
Yeah, he has an army, a very large police force, and some interesting laws brought in by President O about being able to spy on your own citizens and arrest your own citizens without trial and things. We brought in the Patriot Act, also the Patriot Act.
That's reminds me of the Volstead Act.
Which was another stupid law, brought in by another stupid president.
It failed.
Yeah, I mean, no, all these laws are brought in for the right reasons, for good reasons. It's just they're used to bad effect.
Oh, Volstead Act raised people drinking.
Basically the Volstead Act was to stop people drinking so America could become more productive. So men would not get drunk all the time, and women wouldn't get drunk all the time, although it was the feminists of the time.
It worked the opposite.
It did the opposite, yeah. Everyone just got... Alcoholism went through the roof because suddenly it was illegal to drink. Therefore, it was more fun to drink. They should have demanded that all citizens drink, and everyone would have quit alcohol completely. But they don't get this. The left never understands these simple concepts. They're just trying to ban people making statues of Marius. Bad idea, because you're just going to have all the streets full of statues of Marius.
Britain should be afraid of its past. Should be ashamed of its past.
Why?
Because they said so.
Yeah, exactly. All these African countries that we're supposed to go to and say sorry for being a colonial power. How come when
I'm
we
giving
left,
you water, houses, schools.
When we went there, they were throwing spears at each other and wearing skirts. We gave them schools, roads, education, all this stuff, all this shiny stuff. We brought them into the modern world, right? And then they said, we want independence. We said, fine, you can have it. What happens? They kill each other. But instead of using spears, they use weapons bought from Britain. So it still works out.
Then
Still
they
money
go
over.
back, and then they go back.
And then they complain to us. They say it's our fault. There's not. No. Sorry. Tough. Embrace modernity or starve to death. That's just life. It's a bit like Northern England, isn't it?
No, I want to go that far.
Yeah.
After all, we are one of them.
Well, no, the Romans had exactly the same trouble. They came to Britain, and Britain was basically a bunch of heathen barbarians who were putting people in wicker men and setting fire to them. And the Romans were
Scotland.
No, that was England. That was Britain.
Albion. Scotland and more people doing it.
No, the Scots weren't even organised though. Or the people we would now call Scots. Most of the Scots are actually descended from the Celts who ran away from the Romans. So the Picts were the people who lived in the north. And they didn't have any concept of a kingdom or society. They just had sort of individual groups of sort of kingdoms, which actually kind of worked. At least it stopped them doing things to other people. It meant they were mostly fighting each other. You want to get back to the American Civil War, the whole American Civil War was fought between people believing that each state is an individual state and people who wanted to unite the whole of the country. So basically the American Civil War was, do you want a European Union type thing? And the president of the European Union, President Lincoln, basically forced the South into going to war. And then Mr. Lincoln's War happened. 600,000 Americans died. And in the end, you had a European Union of America. And you have that today, with all the divisiveness that goes into it, because some individual states don't have as much rights as they would particularly like to have. But hey, look, you get over it. These things were long in the past, and people are still arguing about it now.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, look, I'm still annoyed that Scotland's still part of England. And that was 300 years ago.
They even did, no, 2 years ago.
300.
No, they did it again.
Oh no, they just had a referendum, they wanted to leave. I wish I could vote.
Yeah, I know. Actually, everybody in England's like, alright, let's see.
Yeah, we should be, the English should be allowed to vote as to whether or not we kick Scotland out of the Union.
Yeah, but if Scotland leaves, they're screwed. Because we pay for everything.
Yeah.
We give them food, we give them, we pay for the schools. If they leave, then the Scottish Parliament has to do all that.
Yeah.
What's she going?
They would run out of money.
What's the head of the party going to do then?
Well, they would run out of money, and they would blame the English. They would say it's the English fault.
Even David Cameron wouldn't have fallen for that.
No, but that's what they do. They do that now. And the front page of one of the newspapers was hilarious. It said, America elects racist president. And at the top of the paper was, we better not lose to them, i.e. the British. So who's the racist one now?
So we better not lose to them things who created America. We better not lose to them.
Well, the things that created Scotland, God, before the British went up there, Scotland was a hellhole. As I just said, it was all these different individual kingdoms constantly killing each other. And we got bored of the fact that European countries took advantage of that and would fund the Scots to invade Britain. And most of the Scottish invasions of Britain were actually financed by European countries who we were at war with, usually France, but sometimes Spain. Because the French and the Spanish couldn't afford to fight the British, so they would pay the Scots to invade. The last time was 45. When they invaded Britain, they got all the way down to...
The 45th president.
No. They fought all the way down to Yorkshire, and then marched all the way back up again because they thought they'd lost. And it turned out they'd actually won, but that's because they're stupid. And the guy in charge of their spies was actually a British agent. So it didn't help that they were receiving all their intelligence from the British.
From the Yorkshires.
Well, they didn't actually fight the Yorkshires. They stayed on the other side of the Pennines. They went down to Derby to the other place. Oh God, my brain's melting. I don't live there anymore, so I don't care. That's it. That's really the end of the video. I think we've nicely covered the figures because I think the figures are really good, and I'm going to enjoy putting these ones together.
No, we actually explained the figures.
Yeah, I know. I remembered this time.
I can't believe it.
I'm just enjoying getting back into videoing. I'm so excited with videoing. I'm just talking too much. Sorry. No, I'm not going to say sorry anymore. I don't have to.
Yeah, you do, okay?
No,
you have to say sorry.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. No,
The viewers are the presidents. You are the provider.
Yeah, are we providing a service? We're just two idiots making videos.
We provide entertainment.
Is it entertainment? I thought we were just talking about gaming.
When I am playing a game and I dropped dice.
How did you manage that? That was amazing.
Well, where'd it go?
How did you get the dice in the first place?
I found it on the table. I think God might have given it to me.
It's always his fault, isn't it? He does loads of stuff, you know.
What? It's a 3.
It's a 3. Right, that means you failed to capture the castle.
It's a 3 again.
You failed to capture the castle again.
It's a 6.
Oh, misfire. You shot yourself in the foot.
Then it's to roll 1 then.
Roll on the fumble table.
I got 2.
Yeah. So these are the Perry Miniatures figures. As with all our videos, we've ended up wandering off and talking about other stuff, but I don't care.
You should. Okay.
No, it's late and
it's late. It's like
we're just having fun. We have some other stuff to come, so look out for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, at least first half. And
first quarter.
Yeah, we should really stick to the actual history of the stuff we're talking about,
so like,
rather than wandering off. We should try doing that once.
No, we're talking about
it. Sort of, yeah, after a fashion. So that's it. That is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Over to the sidekick for all that stuff he says at the end.
So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of American Civil War artillery. That's everything from me.
And that's everything from him. Goodbye.
See ya.